Hey guys, and welcome to this episode of Review Flicks. In this video, we're going to be talking about an X-Men movie that's supposedly going to be an all-female cast. I know there's going to be a lot of you out there who are going to scream woke, going to scream agendas, and Marvel's at it again with this kind of forced diversity, wokeisms, garbage that nobody wants. And it seems that Marvel is absolutely back on the train. And, like I say, I know there's going to be a lot of you out there that are very unhappy with this kind of direction if they do decide to go with an all-female cast for an X-Men movie. But we have an article here from Cosmic Book Movie, so let's jump straight into it, guys, and let's read a little bit more and figure out what's going on. So, jumping into this article here, Kevin Feige's X-Men, female focused in the MCU. So, new rumours fit with what has previously been said. Will it be any good? So, no one saw this coming, but it's claimed that Kevin Feige's X-Men in the MCU will be female-focused. Feige and Marvel are currently moving to the X-Men in the MCU, which is either thought to start with Deadpool 3 or Avengers Secret Wars. Following those movies, which are thought to put a final nail in the coffin of the Fox Marvel Universe, it's assumed Feige will introduce the MCU's new X-Men. Well, according to rumours, Feige's X-Men is all about female characters. Like I said in my intro, I know there's going to be a lot of people out there that are absolutely sick and tired of what Marvel is doing. They're just kind of burning bridges with fans. They're alienating people, with this kind of forced, diversity, this kind of woke kind of nature where they have to, gender swap everything and they have to racially swap everything and they have to force, ideological kind of, mumbo jumbo into movies, and they have to add political messaging and stuff like this, guys. And whether, some people are right or wrong to feel that way. It's absolutely understandable why people are sick and tired of this kind of angle that Marvel is taking with their shows and their movies. And it's crazy because back in the earlier phases of the MCU, we never had any of this rubbish. People just went to the movies. They enjoyed it. There was none of this kind of forced kind of wokeism just like shoved into the movies. And we all had a great time and they were unanimously praised. The critics loved it. The box office did really well. And slowly the fans have caught on over the years and people are just sick and tired of it and nobody wants it anymore. And, Marvel is suffering at the box office and critically because of it. But let's keep reading, guys, and see if we can learn even more about what's going on with this potentially all-female-led X-Men reboot. So, obviously, we have the characters here from the Fox universe. I'm not going to pretend I know all the names because I haven't seen the Fox X-Men movies in years. Actually, I should go back and watch them because they're pretty good movies. Really, really good movies. Especially Days of Future Past. That's probably the best X-Men movie ever made, in my opinion. It's so good. But I don't really remember the names. So, I know Mystique. I know Storm. I don't remember any of the other ones. I'm so bad. So what do X-Men rumors actually say? So according to Scooper Daniel RPK, which is he's a big scooper on the channel, guys. You'll know a lot of the videos that I make of revolving around this account of Daniel RPK. He seems to be an insider who knows a lot about what's going on at Marvel, and he gets a lot of stuff very right when it comes to rumors and reports about, behind the scenes things going on at Marvel. So, he recently nailed the info that Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards in Fantastic Four. The initial idea from Kevin Feige is to focus on female members of the X-Men. It's further said that Kevin Feige wants to move the X-Men in the MCU as far away as possible and make them different than what Fox did with its franchise and movies. Worth a note is that Feige worked on Fox movies, and that is where he got his start, working under Fox X-Men producer. It's added, so going in a different direction means no Magneto in the MCU at first, and that's the MCU's big X-Men villain would be Mr. Sinister, and that the big X-Men villain would be Mr. Sinister. Yeah, so we're going to start off the X-Men in the MCU apparently with an all-female cast. No Magneto, no Professor X, apparently. Unless Professor X is going to be in a different movie, potentially in Deadpool. There's a 90% chance that Professor X turns up in Deadpool. Wherever Hugh Jackman's Wolverine goes, Professor X seems to be pretty close by. So I think we're going to see him pop up in Deadpool 3. But I'm not really sure how I feel about an all-female-led X-Men movie. To be fair, I don't really care all that much. As long as the characters are compelling, the plot and the script is written well, and we have a good, interesting movie that actually has some depth to it. It's not just some silly, childish, humor, garbage crap that we get from, like, the Marvels. As long as it's nothing like that, as long as they do a more serious, grounded tone, kind of like what they did with the Fox universe, those movies were fantastic. Why you would want to pivot really far away from what they did with the Fox movies? I have no idea. Keep the same tone, keep the same kind of characters, and then just build on them. Make them, make them your own. Kind of build on them. Fans are used to them. They know what works. And why you would want to completely kind of brush off the Fox X-Men characters, I'm not really sure. Just build on them. Make them slightly different, tweak them for a new audience in the MCU, and just build on them. Yeah. But an all-female cast, like I say, I don't really care. As long as the characters are compelling and the script is written well, that's all that I really matter. But I know there's a lot of people out there who really hate this kind of stuff. Like I keep saying, the forced diversity, the forced inclusion has to be all-female, no men allowed. And yeah, I can understand why people are sick and tired of it. It kind of does make me exacerbated a little bit here and there. But as I say, as long as the characters are compelling and the script is good, at the end of the day, I'm a film fan and that's all I care about. If they do put political messaging in their movies, I just try to overlook it and just, whatever. Otherwise, you can just get annoyed and fed up with it. So, alarm bells are sounding. Yeah, for a lot of people, they're going to be when it comes to this kind of stuff. You read an all-female cast for an X-Men movie. Man, a lot of people's alarm bells and red flags are going to be going up, that's for sure. So, as far as we know, Kevin Feige's approach to diversity has been a complete failure, to say the least. So, the alarm bells are sounding. While diversity itself isn't a bad thing, yeah, I agree with that. I like seeing people from different cultures and different backgrounds. I like seeing people of all different kind of races, religions, creeds in different movies. There's a difference between having diversity and then having forced kind of woke diversity. There's a complete difference between that. It's like when you shoehorn a character in that doesn't feel like it fits there, and it's just there for the purpose of, ticking a checkbox to say, yep, we've got this color person, or we've got this kind of person of this origin, when they don't actually need to be there and they don't represent a purpose. It's Feige's approach to diversity that has been done incorrectly. Just like in the comics did, the diverse characters aren't being introduced organically, which is what I was just saying. They're kind of just there for no apparent reason, other than just to check a box just to say that they're there. With a quality story, they are being thrown in the faces of longtime fans, replacing longtime fan favorites. It's when you start race swapping, gender swapping longtime characters that have been around in the comics for years that fans are attached to, and you start, race swapping, gender swapping, and there doesn't seem to be a purpose to gender swapping or race swapping a particular character, yet they do it, and it makes no sense. Why would you do it? People are used to a character being in a certain way, whether they're white, whether they're black, whether they're Asian, whatever it may be. So to swap their, gender or to swap their ethnicity, just for absolutely no reason other than checking a box. Like, what is the point? You alienate the fans, you piss people off, and it serves no purpose to the story. So I get why people are annoyed about it. So where are we? The positive, introduced organically with a quality story. They're being thrown in the faces of longtime fans, replacing longtime fan favorites. The positive regarding the X-Men is that the franchise already has a lot of existing strong female characters. However, will Feige use them to send a message is the question. Yeah, another thing, guys, is when you start inserting messages about, women are better than men, or men are better than women, or the patriarchy, or, all of this kind of nonsense. That's why I hated the Barbie movie, because of, the message about the patriarchy. I don't want to go to films to see, people make political commentary and messages about the world and subjects. I don't care about any of that. When I watch a movie, I just want to enjoy myself, I want to have a good time. I don't want to care about all the political messaging and all the debate going around that kind of subject. I just don't care about it, and I don't really want to hear about it. In addition, recently it was said that Feige's X-Men plans are not that exciting. So, quote, "This sounds exciting on paper, but it's actually not that exciting if you consider how Feige wants the MCU X-Men to appear in post-Avengers Secret Wars." Tweeted the Can We Get Some Toast Twitter account. Again, guys, Can We Get Some Toast? The Twitter account, they seem to be another insider within the industry. They get a lot of scoops and a lot of things right when it comes to rumors and reports about Inside Marvel. And account which appears to be a PR-run account, possibly by Disney and or Marvel. The current idea to reboot the X-Men in the MCU does not feature Wolverine on the team. Yeah, I heard about this rumor months ago. I think I did actually make a video to some degree on this, that apparently they're going to have, Wolverine off in separate movies, and then they're going to bring him into the X-Men later on after the X-Men are established. I kind of get that from a business perspective. Wolverine, he's a very particular character when it comes to the X-Men. He's so far and above the popular X-Men character. when it comes to all of the other X-Men characters. You know, Wolverine, he can support his own movies, his own games, his own comics, whereas the other X-Men characters, they're really cool and they are really awesome characters, but they're more kind of supporting characters. They work in a group together. Like, you couldn't make a solo Cyclops movie or a solo kind of Storm movie, but you could definitely make a solo Wolverine movie. Obviously, they have already done that because, you know, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and just Wolverine, the character itself, is mega popular. I mean, Insomnia Games are making a Wolverine game, although the whole thing's now been leaked all over the internet, which sucks, but that's a whole nother story we could go into. But yeah, I get it from a business perspective. To have Wolverine in a separate movie and the X-Men in separate movies to make more money and then to bring them together for a team up, it does make sense from a business perspective. So we can also add that Feige made Iman Vellani's Miss Marvel the first mutant of the MCU, and that both Miss Marvel Disney Plus show and the Marvels are complete failures. Nobody cares about Miss Marvel. Literally nobody cares. Every single game that she's in fails. Every single comic or graphic novel that she's in fails. The movies critically bomb. The Disney Plus show wasn't watched by anybody. Nobody cares about the character. The actual actress who plays her, she's quite charming and she does a good job, don't get me wrong. But the actual character of Miss Marvel herself, like, nobody cares. It's just some, like, childish girl who has powers, who fangirls about Captain Marvel, and it just alienates the fans. Like, most of the fans are kind of like 18 to 35 men. That's probably the majority of the fan base. And they don't want to watch a film about a little 16-year-old girl who has magical powers, who fangirls over Captain Marvel. The fan base just don't want to see that, you know? So previous rumors have also said that fans won't be happy with what Feige does with Wolverine and the X-Men in the MCU. So a Redditor who leaked a never before released Captain Marvel image said that Feige would include mutants on X-Men who are going to be new ones for diversity, and said, if you're so against it, you're definitely not going to like Feige's plans, including Wolverine. So it seems like there's going to be some sort of diversity forced into there somewhere, whether they're going to gender swap or race swap or whatever, swap certain characters out or something like that, sounding by what this message just said here. So further rumors then surfaced that Feige would race swap the X-Men. As I was just saying, it sounds like they are, guys. And Wolverine as well. Again, all of that sending a message not about the story. I tell you what, if they tried to make a Wolverine movie or they tried to reboot Wolverine in the MCU after Hugh Jackman's done, if they came out and announced that Wolverine is going to be race swapped or gender swapped, all hell would break loose. Literally, Marvel would be boycotted by so many people. People would lose their damn minds if you try to race swap or gender swap Wolverine. I can tell you that right now. And that would be the straw that breaks the camel's back when it comes to Marvel. I bet you any money regarding that. So while some Marvel fans may find it hard to believe, Feige's approach to Phase 4 and Phase 5 has been a big bust. That's not hard to believe. Like, literally, Marvel is in the dumpster. Like, I mean, you just look at what happened to the Marvels. It literally bombed. Like, you would have made more, like, I probably could have made more money. If I made a Marvels movie, like, using my phone, I could use my phone and make a Marvels movie and probably make more money than what Marvel did. Nah, I'm being facetious, but you know what I mean. Like, they literally made no money with the Marvels. They actually lost a whole ton of money, like, out of the gate. So Feige and the MCU no longer have creators who care about the characters or the properties. Gone are Jon Favreau, Joss Whedon, the Russo brothers, and James Gunn. They all share the love of comics, something that is no longer present at Marvel Studios. Speaking of James Gunn, I know there's a lot of you guys who watch these videos who don't like James Gunn, so that's fair enough. But I just want to go off on a tangent, right? Them firing James Gunn was one of the worst decisions they could have ever made. They fired James Gunn from Marvel because of 10-year-old tweets he made about, you know, whatever it was. And, you know, obviously he left. He started working for DC. He came back to do the last Guardians movie. And now he's finished with Disney. Obviously, he's the CEO of, you know, he's the CEO now of DC Studios. But them losing out on James Gunn, firing him, he probably still would be working for Marvel right now. And them losing James Gunn was one of the dumbest decisions they ever made, because James Gunn, he's a nerd through and through. He knows all about comics. I mean, look at the Guardians movies that he made. Some of the best material that the MCU has ever put out. And, you know, Guardians 3 recently came out. It's probably one of the best MCU movies in the later phases. Everything else seems to be a bit trash. And, yeah, they just made a huge mistake. But yeah, guys, so there we are. It's kind of just a small article, just a short video here, just talking about this. So it seems that Kevin Feige is going to be focusing on a female-only X-Men movie. Is that something that interests you? Do you think it's woke? Do you think it's garbage, just the sound of it? Does it put you off an X-Men movie? Or do you not really care? Are you like me, where as long as the characters are written well and the script is good, you'll watch it? Let me know what you think, guys, because I know this is going to be massively divisive among the fan base. So I can't wait to hear what some of you guys have to say about this. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you soon.